Alright, so the next part of this, let's show how we can interact with other game objects and trigger messages based on a collision. So let's move some stuff around. Let's move this box over here a little bit and possibly shrink it down. Okay, so let's put this down over here. Let's grab this viewport, a scroll view. Let's call this our chat box, F2. And let's go ahead and duplicate this and call this player interaction. Okay, let's move this to the bottom left-hand corner, or right-hand corner. And alright, so let's wire this one up, and we'll call this player interaction. So again, public game object, player interaction. And then the public rect transform. Player interaction parent. And we will reuse both of these for our player interaction parameters. Alright, so let's go ahead and add another long line in here. So messenger instance create message do destroy chat time, and then player interaction prefab, and then player interaction parent line, and let's set this to the color of blue. Cool, so now we have two messages coming out, and they'll be coming out on this side and on this side. One on the left is going to be our chat box, and the one on the right is going to be for our player interaction. Alright, let's go back to Unity, and let's go ahead and hook up our player interaction. Now that we have the player interaction prefab and the player interaction parent, let's go to our prefabs and let's grab this message. And this is going to be the same prefab, we're just going to reuse it. And let's go to our player interaction, viewport content, and this is going to be that parent. Now to simulate player interactions, I went ahead and downloaded the characters from the standard assets. So you can right click on assets, import package, and then characters. When you do so, this will give you the prompt to download the first person character controller, the third person, and rollerball. So we're going to use the rollerball out of the character controllers. Let's set up a little place for the rollerball to roll around. So let's switch it in 3D mode, and let's add a 3D object plane. Let's reset its transform. And let's set the scale to be 20 by 20. Let's call this ground. Not that it matters here. And then let's go ahead and grab the prefab rollerball. Great. Let's find out where our camera's at. Camera is right here. Let's move it over here a little bit. And let's move it back. We just want it in the scene. Let's move it up. That'll work. Alright, so let's add some things for the ball to interact with. So let's create some cubes. And let's reset its transform. Let's move it over here. And let's duplicate this a couple times. So let's call this red, blue, and then green. I'm going to give these some materials. So let's create a new folder here called materials. And let's create a red, blue, and green material. So right click and then create, then down to material, call this red. Control D to duplicate it, and then Control D to duplicate it again. F2 to blue, and then let's rename the last one green. Okay, so let's set our blue to be blue. Okay, let's set the blue on here. Let's grab our green and set it to be green. And let's grab our red and set it to red. And let's bring the red on the red box. Alright, so let's bring these up. Let's grab our red and let's move him over here. Grab our blue and move him over here. Alright, so let's play this and make sure our ball can run around. Alright, so our ball can run around just by WSAD. Did notice that as soon as we ran this, we had a blue, the Q is awake over here. I'll expand this for us so we can see that. Let's play here. So the Q is awake in blue. So we have this message being created and this message being created. The spawn message is hooked up to both, which is fine. So let's create one more script, and this script will be a trigger for these three. So let's go to the red, mark it as a trigger, the blue, mark it as a trigger, and the green, mark it as a trigger. Let's go to our scripts, create a new C# script, and let's call this player hit. Player hit me script. Let's reload that. Alright, AKF, and let's delete this out of here. So on the trigger, we need to say private void on trigger enter. Alright, so when the collider has been triggered, let's go ahead and call the create message. Now remember, in the create message, we added these extra parameters here. So what we're going to do is we're going to call a reference to the game manager in the player hit me script. That way we can grab those public variables. So private game manager GM void awake GM equals game object dot find object of type game manager. So now we're going to say messenger.instance.create message. So let's call those gm.doDestroyChat, and then the time gm.destroyChatTime. Next one we need is our message prefab. For this we're going to use the gm.playerInteraction prefab, followed by the message parent, which is the gm.playerInteractionParent. Next we have the message, and our message is going to be gameObject.name, and let's concatenate this with was hit. That way we can see if it was the red, blue one or the green one. And then lastly we need our color, so color dot which one do we want? Let's go ahead and set this to red. Alright, so again here the player hit me script is going to be attached to all of these game objects, the red, blue, and the green, so our roller ball can come trigger them, so that when our roller ball triggers the collider, they're going to create a message. Creating that message by calling the messenger instance and using the parameters that we've already filled out in the game manager. Let's go ahead and save all that and hop back in. Make sure it's compiled, and let's play this and verify that we're getting messages on both sides. Both of the queues are awake. We can manually spawn some messages, and let's roll into the red one. The red was hit. Let's go back down. Green was hit. And finally, the blue was hit. Perfect. Alright, so that's a great demonstration of player interactions and creating those messages based on trigger events. Let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Till then.